Hey everyone, welcome to Grounded with John Tester and Maritza Giorgio. How you doing, Senator?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Yeah, another day in paradise.
It's snowing in Missoula where I am.
Well, it's winter. That's what
No, it's not.
it's
Not
supposed to
yet.
be. It's supposed. Well, I mean, yeah, by the date, no, but by the calendar, yes. Okay.
All
All right.
right. All
All right.
right, good. We're gonna let some people hop on here and hold on. It gets a little wonky. We're gonna let people hop on. We're monitoring the chats. We're live on YouTube and Substack. And we just thought we'd come on because a lot of news has happened this week, as always in this news cycle. And we thought we'd go over some headlines, talk about what we did earlier this week in Helena, some feedback we're getting. Anything I'm missing?
That's about it. I mean, that's plenty. That's plenty.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
Okay, so hop on if you have comments, questions, put them in the chat. We're here just kind of hanging out with you this morning as we drink. Do you have coffee still? Are you drinking coffee still?
Yeah, I think I left my cup upstairs, but I drank a damn near an entire pot this morning because I heard some proposals for legislation, policy proposals from a class in Boston, and so I drank a lot of coffee because we spent about nearly 2 hours on the blower going over the proposals, and we didn't get to about 2/3 of them. So,
And these are college students?
college students, yeah.
So
And
did you
then,
walk away feeling hopeful for our future?
oh hell yes, a lot more. In fact, I always tell the students that they got to run for public office, get involved somehow, whether it's staffing or making their community a better place, because my generation's pretty much screwed this country up. So they
Well,
got to
that's
fix. They got to fix it.
yeah, that might be true.
And since you're getting older like twice as quickly as I am, this soon be your generation that screwed it up too. So
We'll take ownership in that. I'm part of the I'm a geriatric millennial. We're the participation trophy group.
we won't even go down that road. But go ahead. Anyway,
Okay.
what's shape?
Let's talk about some headlines. I just want to say we are watching for updates on a developing story. Not a lot of information here yet, but federal agents reportedly arrested a suspect today, accused of planting 2 pipe bombs the night before January 6th, 2021, both near the DNC and RNC, which also happened to be near the Capitol. So we are watching that developing news. But really the story that is it just keeps growing, and it just keeps becoming more complicated and a lot more to follow is this whole boat strike situation. So today, the Joint Chiefs Chair, General Dan Kane, and Admiral Frank Mitchell Bradley, they're going to be on the Hill in closed-door meetings with top Democrats and Republicans on the House and Senate Armed Services Committees. So, of course, this is all over that specific boat strike in early September in the Caribbean. That's where the Washington Post reports that the first strike on a suspected drug boat left 2 survivors clinging to the side of the boat, which were seen after the smoke cleared. And then that's when Admiral Bradley, who's going to be on the Hill, ordered a second strike to be launched, which ultimately killed them. I'll let you comment, but there's more to add to this.
Well, I mean, what I will comment is 2 things. First of all, kudos to Congress. How many times have you heard that on this podcast for actually bringing people in and asking them questions about what transpired, which is their job, and they haven't done much of that over the last 11 months or so. So kudos to them for bringing them in. Hopefully they can get answers to the questions, because what happened was not what this country stands for, where you've got, as reported anyway, 2 people clinging to a boat that's already been blown up, and somebody within the Pentagon, and I believe it was the Secretary of the Defense, Secretary of War, said go ahead and kill them, even though they're not a threat, because they were just struggling for their lives. So hopefully they will get answers to these questions, because I think this is really important stuff. Whenever the rules of war, and even though we're not in a war, but even whenever the rules are being violated, people need to be held accountable, or we turn into just like every other country who has no respect for life on earth. So that's kind of where we're at, where I see it. But thanks to Congress. Hopefully they'll get straight answers out of Raising Cane and Admiral Bradley.
Okay, so the deal with this is that it is really creating fractures and criticism and scrutiny from both sides of the aisle. I want to play a clip. This is what former Pete Hegseth colleague, Judge Andrew Napolitano, said on Newsmax.
Pleasure to say what I'm about to say because I worked with Pete Hegseth for 7 or 8 years at Fox News. This is an act of a war crime, ordering survivors who the law requires be rescued instead to be murdered. There's absolutely no legal basis for it. Everybody along the line who did it, from the Secretary of Defense to the Admiral to the people who actually pulled the trigger, should be prosecuted for a war crime for killing these two people.
And who?
Okay, so that was on Newsmax. Contributor, former Fox News commentator, who said they need to be prosecuted, called it a war crime. Senator Rand Paul joined Democrats in introducing a resolution to stop what they're calling unauthorized military hostilities in Venezuela. And I have a clip of what Rand Paul said yesterday.
Seen any evidence that there were survivors on these boats, on this particular boat? Have you seen any evidence that there were survivors? What intelligence have you seen?
I've been offered no briefings, and I think that's purposeful because I've been skeptical of this. So no briefings have been offered to me. We are asking for them. We are supportive of the Armed Services Committee looking into this, but this has been very selective in briefings that have been given to people, primarily given to people who are already apologists for the administration.
And do you have confidence in the Defense Secretary at this point?
I'm very, very concerned about an order that would say kill them all, kill them, after they've already been wounded, after they're drifting apart. But for some people, this is distinctly different, the second strike. I think both strikes are actually illegal. I don't think you can just name people and say, well, they've got drugs, well, where's the proof? That's an allegation. And these people are 2,000 miles away. People don't realize these outboard boats have no capability of reaching America. Take them like 20 stops to refuel to get up here. In all likelihood, none of these boats are coming to America. It's a completely made up and false sense that, oh, we're at war, we can do whatever we want, but if Congress wants to vote on it, no, we're not at war. So they're at war if they can do whatever they want with no oversight.
Okay, so he goes on a little bit, but this is what we've been talking about, senators, is this this effort to just say, well, there were drugs on the boats.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think if you take a look, a listen to what Napolitano said, somebody who worked with Hegseth, he called balls and strikes as the way they are. If you listen to what Rand Paul said, and by the way, I agree with Rand, I think both strikes are questionable. But the second strike, absolutely out of line. And so, it's crazy. I just want to say one thing, and I normally appreciate everybody writing in on the chats. I don't know if this was a bot or if it's real. It says Democrats want drugs to keep flowing in America, keep citizens addicted. What a bunch of bullshit. Didn't the president just give a pardon to a guy that was in prison?
Yeah.
For drugs, for putting up Ringo's nose. So wake up, man. Wake up. And Rand Paul is one of the most conservative people I ever served with. And there ain't many of them in the United States Senate from a fiscal standpoint. So we'll move on.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what's happening on the Hill today. Meanwhile, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said he didn't personally see any of the survivors. He said that he called this is what happens in the fog of war. And the thing is that, gosh, it was last week we had Senator Mark Kelly on, and the same day we had Senator Mark Kelly on, it was announced that the Defense Department is going to start investigating Senator Kelly because we're on this same timeline here as the FBI and the Defense Department threatening investigations into people like Senator Kelly and the 5 other lawmakers who made that video that has gone viral. It's gone gangbusters. It instructed our troops not to follow illegal orders. This has been a huge news story the last couple of news cycles. And what they recited were based on the Uniform Code of Military Justice that says just that. You can't follow illegal orders. So these lawmakers are getting death threats, they're getting bomb threats and more, and the president is continuing to target them. And I want to play for you what CNN found from 2016, and they've been playing this.
I do think there have to be consequences for abject war crimes. If you're doing something that is just completely unlawful and ruthless, then there is a consequence for that. That's why the military said it won't follow unlawful orders from their commander-in-chief. There's a standard, there's an ethos, there's a belief that we are above what so many things that our enemies or others would do.
So that goes to what you already said, but that's from 2016. And if you didn't recognize him, that is Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth saying pretty much exactly what these lawmakers said in that video.
Yep, 100% correct. That's exactly right. But remember this, Marisa, this wasn't about what those Congress folks did as far as their video. This is about pivoting off Epstein. It is just blatantly a fact, and try to focus on things that, quite honestly, congressmen have every right to say because it's the law. But if you can pivot off Epstein, that means that takes the pressure off of that mole that's popped up, so to speak.
Well, and I don't have this in our headlines that I released a ton of, but I shouldn't say released, that I wrote a ton about. But the House Dems did release more Epstein photos and videos from the island yesterday, so we're going to continue to see that slow trickle of documents.
Yeah, Epstein is not going away, and the president's going to probably continue to do really outlandish stuff to try to get it to go away, and I just don't see it ever going away until the facts are released, which is what the president said he was going to do when he ran for office.
All right, so speaking of war, the fog of war, let's talk about peace, because I want to show you the new name on what was known as the United States Institute of Peace. The State Department renamed it. They posted this today, unveiled the new facade, and it's called now the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace.
Well, I mean, look, some people, they get a certain amount of joy in seeing their name on a building, regardless if they've earned that ability or not. And obviously, President Trump loves to have 2-acre ballrooms with gold chandeliers and his name on buildings. I don't know. I don't see how some people are wired that way, but it's fine. I think.
Do you have your name on any buildings?
I don't have my name on any buildings, and I really don't want my name on any buildings. And
what about like a grain silo? Is your name on a grain silo somewhere?
No grain silo, no nothing. And they don't even have my name on, entering Kenilworth and leaving Kenilworth. So it's all right.
Your hometown.
That's exactly. But evidently the president wants his name on buildings, and he wants statues and all sorts of stuff. And I guess if that's what makes it go, fine. What I always thought made people respected and important were the jobs they did. If you actually were helping democracies maintain their democratic government instead of letting communist bordering countries overrun them for no reason whatsoever, see Ukraine, or if you were actually making sure that human rights were defended in this country and the Constitution was followed. I think that gives you a better right to have a name on a building than just a declaration that, what was the two countries, Armenia and Azerbaijan or some damn thing. Countries I never heard of that were a long ways apart, that had never been at war with one another, that he said he settled the war with. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. It's fine.
Okay, so new today, the New York Times is suing the Pentagon over First Amendment rights. They say the new rules for credentialed journalists that we've talked about here on the program violates the Constitution's guarantees of due process, freedom of speech, and freedom of the press. So this lawsuit comes days after the new press corps, credentialed press corps, attended a briefing. And in that crew, we had conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer. We had former Representative Matt Gaetz. And here's the thing. They put a bunch of pictures up on social media of them taking over the desks, like the former Washington Post desks. And then they basically asked questions in this. And Laura Loomer posted on X that there's a new inspector general review of what happened with Signalgate. And she posted that it's basically a total exoneration of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. And of course, the Signalgate thing was all of those war plans, attack plans that were sent over Signal. And then they accidentally added a journalist to that group chat. So Laura Loomer said that the IG report totally exonerated Hegseth. But when you look up all of the other mainstream outlets, you see things like Pentagon report, Hegseth risked endangering troops with Signal messages, and all of these other outlets that reported that the watchdog found that he violated protocol, risked endangering troops. Now, Senator Roger Wicker, Republican, is standing with Hegseth, saying he acted within his authority. But there's a lot of mixed messaging coming out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, this is a big deal because freedom of the press is really important to make sure your government's held accountable. And last I checked, and it's true by a fairly large margin now, the military gets more money from appropriators than any other branch of the government. In fact, more than all the others combined. And so it's important that you have press in there asking questions about how the money is being spent and how policies are being implemented and all the things that the press does. As far as Gaetz and Loomer, they're not press people. Just like I'm not a press person. Okay, I'm not the New York Times. I'm not the Washington Post. I'm none of that stuff.
But there are podcasters in there, so maybe you could get credentialed.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate if that would be the case. I'll just tell you, because you need to have people that are talented like you, Maritza, be able to ask the questions and think about what they're asking and being able to pronounce the words correctly and all that stuff. So it's terrible. And I would just say this: they put out a military operation over a platform that was absolutely open to anybody who wanted to get on it. And if that's what the protocols are now, it is no wonder that China is into many of our very classified systems, because that is a fact. And we ought to be worried about that instead of worried about what's happening in Chicago or what's happening in, the cities around LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, I don't care, pick one. Instead, we're letting China do whatever the hell they want. And this kind of a situation where they're putting military plans over a non-classified platform is absolutely unequivocally endangering our troops and should not be allowed. So it's fine. And by the way, not making any of this stuff up, it was all right there for everybody to see, including our enemies.
Yeah, and this has been. I mean, when you think about Signalgate, it seems like it was so long ago. It really wasn't. Just months ago.
Yeah, no. It's wrong. And by the way, it was also pointed out that wasn't the first time they had used a non-classified platform for classified information. So God knows if they aren't still doing it. So
we do have a question.
It's what happens, as Senator Kelly has already pointed out, when you have unqualified people in positions that are pretty damn important, like the Secretary of Defense.
Okay, so we have a question from Susan on Substack. She wants to know, since Mike Johnson is so little support, why is he not being recalled? Doesn't it take just one person to request it? Susan, I've been reading about that, and yes, you're right. And that was part of that whole rule change that caused a whole flurry when I don't even remember how many votes they went through trying to get a speaker, but I know it was chaos. And so I don't know. I've heard rumors and reports that especially women, female Republicans in the House are not particularly happy, but I haven't seen anything substantiated yet. How about you, Senator?
Well, I think all you got to do is look at the people who are retiring. Most all of them are saying it's not any fun. Congress isn't doing their job, and that's not what I was elected for. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. This is other lawsuit news. Our favorite box store, Senator, and our favorite place to get a budget lunch, Costco.
Damn right.
Let me tell you a story. One time, John Chester was in Missoula.
Some things don't need to be spread.
He said, well, let's grab lunch. Sure, let's go to Costco.
That's right. We go to the steakhouse you can buy, all right?
Yeah, it was a good lunch. Hey, you can't beat the deals in the Costco food court, but I digress. So Costco filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration. They are looking for a full refund on tariffs that they've paid out this year. And this lawsuit points to what you've been pointing out, that Congress is the body with the power to impose tariffs, not the president, not the executive branch. Now, other companies have also filed suit, and one of those suits made it all the way to the Supreme Court. So that case is pending. We are waiting for that. I think it's going to happen earlier next year. We're going to get kind of their ruling. But if the Supreme Court rules against Trump, it could mean that the administration would owe $90 billion in refunds.
Well, there goes my $2,000 check he promised me just yesterday. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
we've all understood from the beginning that it isn't the country that exports that has to pay the tariffs. It's the people who buy the goods that have to pay the tariffs. It's one of the reasons we have an economy right there now that is very stagnant, but prices continue to go up because it all has to do with the tariffs. And I don't care if you're a working family, a small businessman, in agriculture, this tariff stuff has been a train wreck. And it's having incredible impacts on our economy, none of which are positive.
Before we end our headlines, I do want to say that the boat attack video was shown. Now we're getting some top notes out of this closed door meeting that boat attack video was shown to senior members of Congress on that September 2nd boat strike. And so we are waiting to hear kind of what comes out of that. I'm sure that there will be some reporters waiting outside of that meeting asking the lawmakers who attended. So we'll see what happens. Okay, that's all.
Which by the way is freedom of the press and standard operating procedure when you walk out of meetings. If the rare ones where press aren't allowed in, and I assume this is one of them, then you get grilled when you come out, which is fair play.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's what happened after the Epstein closed door meeting. So I will be antsy to see what those lawmakers say. Okay, that's all I have for headlines. I wanted to debrief with you though about our live audience episode Monday in Helena. That was fun.
No, it was a kick. I hope everybody who watched it enjoyed it. It was kind of fun having, I don't know what there was in that room, 50 people, maybe more. I don't know. It was a bunch.
Maybe more.
Talking about issues that not only affect Montana but affect the whole country. So it was a good time, and we appreciate Governor Bullock, former Governor Bullock, allowing us to invade his establishment.
His bar. Yeah. I do want to say, so we recorded that live in front of a live audience in person, which we haven't done before. And so all of these new firsts are learning curves for us. And the audio does break up a little bit in the recording, but the topic is a good one. And it's about this effort here in Montana called the Montana Plan. And we interviewed and chatted with Jeff Mangan, who's really spearheading this. Basically, tell me if I sum this up correctly, Senator, instead of looking at Citizens United through a campaign finance lens, these policy wonks have figured out you can look at it through a commerce lens and basically say, hey, these states have the power to define what powers businesses have who do business in their states. So So in Montana, there's an effort to get this initiative on the ballot, to put it to the voters to say, should we change this structure? Should we change our corporate laws so that we say corporations cannot spend money in our elections. And so this is something, it's a fascinating topic. It goes a little bit over my head in some places because I'm not a policy wonk, but it's really inventive, and a lot of people are paying attention to what happens here in Montana. So check it out.
Yep. Check it out. Basically what it says is if you're going to incorporate in Montana or do business in Montana, you can't give to campaigns as a corporation. As a person, you can't. It does not fix Citizens United, but it does fix the part that says corporations are people, which they're not. And so I think it's a giant step forward. Certainly not going to fix keeping all the money out of these elections, but I think it's certainly a big, big, big step forward. And hopefully the initiative is successful, because Montana's kind of led the way on finance reform for the last 100 and some years. So
yeah, we wrote about that. I mean, if you don't know about the copper barons and literally buying seats in Congress, that's all Montana, baby.
It is. It started here, man. So
Ellen said that she's trying to see if they can get that going in Colorado, that effort, and that she thinks we should do more of those in-person on the spot podcasts. It was fun. So
yeah, well, thanks. And by the way, if you go back and look at that video, I don't have the website in front of me, but Jeff Mangan gave the website that you can go to.
How about I pull it up?
You got it?
I'm pretty sure it's
efficiency.
I'm pretty sure it's the montanaplan.com.
Is it?
The montanaplan.com.
Do you have the capacity to put that in the chat?
Oh my gosh, I do. This new.
That'd be great. And then people take it and take a look and see if you should be able to make it work for any state in the union. And I think that this may not be the only initiative this election cycle, which would be really good.
Look at that. I saw it down there on the thing. And I think I can put it in comments. Okay, so there you go, the montanaplan.com. I do want to say though, so there was this, I'm going to embarrass you more. You ready?
Sure, go ahead, I guess.
Right. So we were going to try to play this video, but we had some technical difficulties. But Jon Tester and Steve Bullock, former Governor Steve Bullock, have a history of having some fun together. No. And I don't know if anybody knows what Taco John's is.
Well, if you don't, you've never lived. You got it. It's fine cuisine.
And this is notoriously, and what I've heard, is your favorite meal. Is that right?
Well, yeah.
Aside from the Costco food court?
I've got a lot of favorite meals. Let's just put it that way. It all works.
Okay, so should we play this video?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, check out this. But this was from when? I don't even know when this was from.
It was from I think it was from, it's when he ran for governor the second time around.
Second term. Okay, here we go.
16, where should we go to get a little meal?
Governor, I think we should go to Taco John's.
Senator, I think that's a great idea. Let's go to Taco John's.
What do you think we should order at Taco John's, Governor?
Should we order a 6-pack and a pound?
Oh, baby, you're talking my language.
Maybe a little cheesy Olays?
Mama.
Yeah.
I don't think we need any sour cream and stuff, right?
No, I don't think so. Just a 6-pack and a pound.
And 2 medium Diet Cokes. How much does it come to?
I think it was $16.40. I got to make sure to ask him. Hey, is there a sales tax in Montana?
I don't believe so.
So $16.40 without a sales tax, right on.
So what change do we get? We got 60 cents change.
We got 60 cents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll wait. 60 cents change. So, Governor, what if there was a 4% sales tax?
If there was a 4% sales tax, that'd be another 65 cents.
We wouldn't have been able to pay for our breakfast.
Not only that, not only would we not have been able to have breakfast today, think about Montanans all across the state. Next thing you know, 4% on their tacos, 4% on their ammo,
4% on the diapers,
4% on the diapers.
All right, we're going to stop there. But we need any other reason to entice.
You missed the best line.
What was the best line?
Nice size medium. I was talking about the Pops.
Oh, nice size medium. See, I don't have it memorized like you do. But yes, Montana does not have a sales tax, in case our friends from across the country who are watching didn't know that.
Yeah, which means you should come to Montana and buy all sorts of stuff because you don't have to pay taxes.
Yes, but be nice when you come visit. Be nice. Be nice.
Right, exactly.
So, but I have to call out Governor Bullock because he told us that he was going to subscribe to our Substack, and I've been watching. Governor. He's not here yet.
Yeah, well, you know how those politicians are.
Okay, my last bit of news before we get to the hat. Do you know what Spotify is?
I used to, but I forgot. Go ahead.
It's like a streaming app for music and podcasts.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
where people listen to things. So every year around this time, Spotify releases their Wrapped. You get all your data from what you most listen to, the songs, your top artists, what your age is based on what you've listened to. And I had so many lovely people send me pictures like this yesterday. Your top podcast. People sent me this. Look at, we're number 3 on this person's. We're number 3 on this person. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Like, that's
absolutely
very cool. Am I frozen?
No, you're not frozen on my end.
No, I'm frozen on my end. But yes, we want to just say thank you. Like it's
you are frozen.
Oh,
there you are.
Whoopsie. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, but we could hear your voice, so keep going.
We want to say thank you. Like this is, we started this kind of not knowing what we were doing. We still don't some days, but just thank you for being in this with us, and thanks to everybody who shared that with us.
It's cool. Ditto on that.
Okay, hat. That's all I have left. Should we do the hat? I forgot. I've been forgetting to.
It's going to be basketball season now. The M-Sun's football season is over with, so we're going with M-Sun 3-Point Club. Okay.
Northern Basketball 3-Point Club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Montana State University Northern's basketball. By the way, I'm glad I opened up a bag of hats and I found this one in. So this is very timely. So when I go to a Northern basketball game, I'll be able to wear this hat and look like.
I think you mean M-Sun.
Yeah, M-Sun. Yeah, exactly.
This is going to be a new thing. And I wore something today. I wore "Don't mess with the USPS."
Exactly. But they're already being messed with and been messed with for the last 10 years, by the way. So.
Oh, well, we want to thank everybody who joined with us just for this little check-in. We will have a new episode next week. We're figuring that out right now. Anything I'm missing? Anything?
You got it. You got it all. Appreciate you guys listening to the baloney, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
Tally-ho.